Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Steak Frites with Miso Hollandaise. Well, you've probably seen steak frite on a menu sometime in your life at a restaurant. Although if you're an average or below average American like myself, you might have thought it said steak frites. It does not. It says steak frite, which is French and translates to steak and fries. Now, the thing about steak frite is it's been done so many different ways over the years that there's not a lot of rules to follow, which is a wonderful thing, because if you've got steak and you've got fries, you've got steak frite, and that opens up the opportunity for some creativity, which we are absolutely going to take advantage of today. Now, some consider this the national dish of Belgium, which is the country that claims its origins. And while you may see a rump roast in the old days or a ribeye more commonly, I've even seen flake steak. There are many different cuts that you can choose from. Today, we're going to be using Teres Major, also known as petite tender. It's a beautiful cut of beef, and we're going to pair that with some Parmesan crusted, hand-cut, pan-fried French fries. And of course, you got to have sauce with your fries. Commonly, you'll see a pan sauce or a hollandaise. Today, we've chosen hollandaise and are doing a miso hollandaise to give it that umami oomph. So first thing we're going to do is take a look at our steaks. So here is the Teres Major that I'm speaking of. These are little like 8-ounce cuts typically, so you could probably get by, like if we're doing this for Valentine's dinner, you could probably get by on one, but they come in a 2-pack, so we're going to cook them both anyway. But it's a very tender piece of meat, considered to be kind of like the beef tenderloin in texture, but obviously a bit more affordable cut, although it has become more popular, which always drives that price up a little bit. Anyway, we're gonna cook these whole and then slice them into medallions to serve them. And first, to get them seasoned up, I wanna get them coated in some Dijon, and then we're gonna hit them with some steak rub. Now for this steak rub today, we're using the California Tri-Tip by Cattleman's. Great savory rub, got a bit of pepperiness to it. It's a chunky seasoning, which gives the outside a bit more texture. All right, so those can kind of hang out. If you're gonna be a while on everything else, throw them in the fridge for a bit, but it's about 25 degrees out now, so we're gonna be fine. Now moving on to the fries. Again, kind of doing a dinner for two, so I'm just gonna need one large russet potato. Although you could double this, you know everyone wants to eat more fries. I'm gonna do a poor job of peeling this just because I like a little skin on my fry. And then the way I wanna slice these is I'm gonna go right down the middle, and then we'll do like big 1/2-inch steak fries. Now into a small mixing bowl, and we're gonna butter these up. 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, and a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And then for the seasoning, we're gonna use 1 tablespoon of the Meat Church garlic and herb, nice savory mix. And that's it. Just gotta get these coated. If you're doing this inside, your butter won't solidify, unless you know you're not in Kansas in the dead of winter. But as long as we get those coated enough to make the Parmesan stick to the outside, that's all we're really looking for. Now we're gonna get after this parm, and I'm using the microplane to make it super fine. I feel like you get better coverage rather than like a larger grate. Maybe I'm just imagining it. But you're gonna want, for this recipe, about 3/4 cup or 1 ounce. So I feel like the easiest way to do that is to just take these one by one, stick them in the parm, whatever stick stays, and those are gonna get pan fried on the grill. Today we're cooking on the Yoder Smokers YS640s pellet grill. It's running at 450 degrees with hickory pellets, currently set up for indirect cooking, although that's gonna change when we get to the steak. But the potatoes are gonna take about 30-35 minutes to cook, so we're gonna get started there. So real quick, we'll talk about the grill setup. We are running indirect. I said 450, I meant 425, that's my bad. We do have grill grates in place on the left side though, so we can pull the door out and do some direct grilling here in a little bit. But for now, we're gonna be working indirect. We've got a 12-inch steel skillet. It's been preheating for the last 5 minutes or so. I'm just gonna cover the bottom of that skillet, not even like deep at all, really just enough to like give it a little bit of fry with some olive oil. And then go right in here with our parm crusted fries. And the idea here is, as this parm melts, it forms a little crust on the outside of the fry, so you get all that good parm flavor. All right, gonna close this up, come back to check on them in 15 minutes. So 15-minute update. We're getting that dark Parmesan crust on the bottom that we want. Look at that. Now, I mentioned that we're frying in olive oil, which seems, as I say it out loud, it sounds weird. But the reason I know that we can do that is because of the temperatures that we're cooking at. We're not doing like a high heat deep fry or something. The heat stays relatively low as far as frying goes during this process, which means that I know that we're not gonna scorch that olive oil while we're cooking our potatoes. And then I get that lovely flavor of olive oil on our Parmesan fries. These are already getting tender, so I can tell they're not gonna need a whole lot longer. In fact, what we'll do now, we'll just go ahead and slide these over to the right and set up to grill our steak. We'll get this diffuser door out of the way. That way we can do some direct grilling. We'll let these hang out right here where they're still gonna get plenty of heat that's coming over the top there. But now we've got this direct flame for our steaks. Go right on top of the grill grates. Steak's been on for about 5 minutes now. It's getting its first turn. And our potatoes on this half are definitely browning a bit quicker than the other half because of the setup now, so just give this a spin, get some heat on the other side. All right, another 5 minutes now, and our potatoes have softened up. They've got the color that we're looking for. So I'm gonna get them out of the oil. That way they don't just soak that up and get all soggy. And then we're just gonna leave them on this wire rack where they can stay warm. All right, checking on our petite tenders. 105 internal. I'm shooting for about 120, which means we've got just a little bit of time. Steaks are at 120. We'll move those over here with the fries. I'm gonna shut the grill off, but we're just gonna let this sit here where it's kind of warm while we put together this Hollandaise sauce real quick. Now, Hollandaise might sound like it's something intimidating, but it's not. It's 5 simple ingredients. The first one being butter. The second one being our flavor that we're really aiming for here, which is this white miso paste. I'm gonna do about 3 tablespoons of miso. And then I'm just gonna season this with some black pepper. We're gonna bring that up to about 175 degrees. And then we're going to incorporate it into our egg yolks and hot sauce, and it's gonna create an emulsion. It's a super creamy sauce. It's actually just like mayonnaise, but it's made with butter rather than oil, which is to say it's not good for you, so don't eat it all the time, but it is delicious. All right, we are at 179, which means we're just a little bit over, and that's fine. And we'll pour this mixture into a pint-sized mason jar here. I'm gonna let that cool down just a touch because I don't want it to cook my eggs right off the bat. Cool it down with a little hot sauce. We do 2 tablespoons today of the Cattleman's Pit Fire hot sauce. It's not super spicy, very mild, but great tang to it, and we need that in our hollandaise. Typically what you'd do here if you're doing this by hand and whisking it, you'd start with the yolks and slowly stream this into the yolks, whipping it the whole time. But with the magic of the immersion blender, we can just add it straight to it and hit it right off the bat. And now you've got creamy miso hollandaise in no time flat. All right, let's tear into our Teres Major here. Just gonna slice it into medallions like I said earlier. Oh, super tender. You're not even gonna need a fork for this stuff. Just a touch of pink in there from the rest time. I mean, the great thing about this is if you're cooking a Valentine's dinner for your honey and she prefers the more done bits, or he, then you take the end pieces and give that to the person that likes them a little bit more medium. You take the middle pieces that like them a little bit more medium rare. Either way, everyone's happy. Come in here with the fries. Teres Major. A spoonful of miso hollandaise over the top. Plenty left over for dipping. All right, let's get a taste. I love hollandaise. My goodness. It's so tangy and creamy, and it's exactly what I want on a nice lean steak like this one, which it's lean, but it's incredibly tender. Great char from the grill, and we'll see how it pairs now with our Parmesan fries. Oh man, like mashed potatoes on the inside with this great Parmesan crust on the outside. I mean, I don't have words. I'm happy. Throw a Caesar salad next to it, and you've got a full meal. Well, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. And that goes for our international viewers too. We are now shipping overseas. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, or barbecue legends, are made.